Hello, and welcome to our last week of beauty school. I hope you have been learning a lot of tips along the way. And today we're going to actually tackle something that I am not a master at. So I'm going to just put that on the table right off the bat. Mary Kay has just launched fantastic new brow products. As you've probably noticed in the media and the magazines, out in your outings to the mall, everywhere, brows are a prominent fashion trend right now. And so it's super important to get your brows on point, but also to realize that not all brow shapes are perfect for you. What's super important is to find the shape that works best for your face. So depending on what shape your face is would depend on what shape of brow you're going to use. Okay, so I'm going to show this diagram. It's kind of tiny, but I will post it below. And what this does is it shows different face shapes and the brows that work best for those face shapes. So I want you to keep that in mind for starters, because we need to work with what we have. Okay, because whenever you see a gorgeous look in a magazine and you think, I want to reproduce that look, that is great, but that particular model has a particular face shape that isn't necessarily yours. It reminds me of the days when I used to be a seamstress and I used to custom design clothes for women. So they would come in with a picture of a magazine thinking that myself, as a seamstress, could create whatever picture they wanted to recreate in that magazine for themselves. Now, first of all, unless you look exactly like that model, I can't create that look for you, as well as I can't get that exact fabric, that exact print, or know the exact design that was done in that particular look. So think of the same thing when you're recreating a look from a fashion magazine or from a YouTube look. In makeup, there are so many factors. One of them, of course, is basic bone structure. And then, of course, there's also eye shape, lip shape, face shape, brow shape. So, when trying to recreate a trend, realize you want to personalize it for your particular face shape, look, and age. Okay, so having said that, brows are a trend right now. Okay, so the best advice I ever heard about brows is that your brows are sisters, they're not twins. So when I heard this from a makeup artist, it actually, weirdly, made me feel so much better about myself, because my brows are two very different shapes. And I struggled to make them look even relatively related, so they're definitely not twins. They're hardly even sisters some days. Okay, so let's see what you need to do your brows. These are the tools that I use every day to do my brows. Our Mary Kay brow brush. Okay, this is the brow and liner brush. Our actual Mary Kay under eye corrector. Yes, I realize we're doing brows, but I do use the under eye corrector when I do my brows. The Mary Kay Precision brow pencils. I actually kind of use a little bit of the brunette and the dark brown, depends on the day and how I'm feeling and how rebellious my brows are that day. And then I use the dark blonde in our brow gel. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so first of all, I did one. Okay, so I did the brow first that behaves. So this is the one that loves to shape perfectly. This is the one that's super round and weird. Now, I also came from the early 90s when brows were a very non-existent thing. In the 90s, we had one hair, and the skinnier our brows were, the cooler we were. So I was very cool because I had really skinny brows. So now that we're in a trend that brows are much bigger, I'm lagging behind. Okay. So the first thing I do is I use our brow brush, and what you want to do is you want to brush all the hairs up. Now in my case, there's not a lot that you're dealing with. If your brows are really bushy, this is a step that may take longer than 2 seconds. Okay, so you want to have them all going up. Now there's two reasons for this. Is you want to first of all, remove any product because I actually, did my full makeup first. So you want to remove any foundation or any product that would have gotten in the brows so that the products that we're going to add actually needs to stick. So that's the first thing. The second thing is just for getting your natural shape. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to use is our Mary Kay Brow Tint. Now I clean off the edge of the brushes a bit so that it's not too globby. I don't know if you can tell, but this is like a really, really tiny mascara brush is basically what it looks like. So this is a color with a little bit of gel in it. So the purpose of it is to color your existing brow hairs and also holding them in place. Now, if you have not a lot of brow hairs, then you're going to need to use more. See already how much it's showing up? Okay, so if you don't have a lot of natural brow hairs, then you will probably use the pencil more than this. And if you have a really great naturally shaped brow, you might only need this product and that's it. And you're good to go for the day. Okay, so this is what my brows naturally do all by themselves. Okay, so again, this one's nice and angled. This one is like a little circle clown brow. So we need to kind of get it under control. So we've used this. Now I'm going to go in with a pencil. So the first one I'm going to go in with is dark blonde. Sometimes dark blonde is enough and sometimes it's not. So let's look at, these are the defining factor. So let's look at the overall shape that I want to create. So you want to go straight up. We used to go, years ago, straight up from the tip of your nose. Now we're going straight up from the center of your nose. So you'll notice there's sort of some brow missing there from years of plucking. The reason we're going here is because it's actually a narrower look for your nose to have your brows slightly further in. So you go straight up from here, that's your starting point. So if you don't have anything there, you need to fill that in. You want to do small little feathery like strokes. So this is where I find with using the dark blonde, it's not quite enough to match with my natural darker brows. So that's where the brunette tends to work a little bit better for me. So small little feathery strokes. So now I'm creating brow where there actually isn't any. And then you want your arch to be off-centered from the pupil of your eye. So there's pupil, and that's going to be my highest point right there. Now, if I don't naturally have a point there, I'm going to create one. So makeup's all illusion. So you're going to draw that in to your highest point, and then your end of your brow is going to be at a 45-degree angle from the tip of your nose. So this is my end point right here, which in that case, it's actually good. So we're filling in here, going to the upper point, and then down. Okay. Still kind of round, but I try and give it as much of an angle as possible. And again, if you use just small hair-like strokes, it looks a little bit more natural and less drawn on. Okay, so the next thing that I do is I use our under eye corrector. Okay, so yeah, for real. Okay, so I put the under eye corrector right where my brow is and then right above. So I smudge this in with either a makeup brush or a Q-tip. And what I'm doing, because I'm creating this highlight up in here, I want to accent that as well as up here. So all you're doing is just highlighting where you've actually created your brow shape. And so this really helps to make the brow look higher. It helps to accent your eyes. And then if there's anything left that you feel you need to correct, since this brow loves to be round and not angled, I feel like I have to add extra on top. Okay, so again, they are far from perfect because one is round and one is straight. I try and make them as close as possible. Okay, so those are our fabulous tools for doing brows. You will find brows are like eyeliner. They absolutely bring out your face. So, just to reiterate, these are your really quick brow tools. Brow brush, under eye corrector, brow pencil, tint. So the tint isn't only to add color, it's also to hold the hair in place. So this is like hair gel for your brows. You can then take the Mary Kay's finishing spray, spray your face, and you're done for the day. So that's how to do your brows. Again, I am not an expert because my brows are not perfect, but I'm going to put the notes below. Here's a really great diagram for what we covered today. So you've got your 3 points that you want to keep in mind, and you've got our fabulous new brow tools from Mary Kay. So I want you to play around with that, have fun with that. If they don't work, just wash them off and start over. Okay, have a great day. Bye.